Have you ever wanted to add trees to your design in Photoshop? Let me tell you, Google search is not the answer. To start, create a new layer and then go to Filter, Render, Tree. A window will pop up. In here we can manipulate how our tree will look like. I'm not going to go into detail about every setting since it's your duty to get familiar with it, and I think it's self-explanatory. The first drop-down menu will let you choose the tree type you want to create, and from there you can adjust how many leaves it has, the height, and so on. Make sure to pay attention to the light direction in conjunction with the image you're placing it on, since this will bring out the most realism. I've decided to create a tree type called Young Robinia without leaves since this image is set in December. I'll reduce everything down and try and find a shape I like. Notice how I can move each slider and a slight alteration will be previewed. Now that I'm happy with what I've created, I can select OK, and Photoshop will create a new layer. Before we do anything else, let's convert the layer to a smart object by right-clicking on it and selecting Convert to Smart Object. We do this so we don't lose quality while we scale and position the layer into place. Once you're 100% happy with the position and scale, you can convert the layer back to a raster by right-clicking on the layer and selecting Rasterize Layer. From here, you can tackle color correction in hundreds of ways. In my workflow, I find that LUTs continue to be the ideal way to set the stage. Therefore, I will create a color lookup adjustment layer, link it to the tree layer by selecting this icon, then search for the foggy light LUT. In this instance, this color profile matches the rest of my image really well, so there are just a few steps left before completion. If you don't understand how LUTs work, you can watch a video I made a while back. Otherwise, try and find something that matches your image. Next, create a new layer and rename it Shading 1. Then, right-click on the tree layer, hold Ctrl on your keyboard, and select the square icon beside it. This will create a selection. Go back to the shading layer, press B to bring up the brush tool, right-click with your mouse to set the hardness at 0%, the opacity at 15%, hold Alt, then left click on your mouse to color pick an environment based color. I'll go for a blue shade. Now stop holding the Alt key and paint on the selected area. You don't want to do this too much, but again, it's based on the image you're editing. Press and hold Ctrl D once you're done to remove the selection. Create a new layer and call it Shading 2. Select the tree layer, hold Ctrl and select the box beside it to make a selection. Go back to the shading layer 2, press B to use the brush and hold Alt until you find a lighter color. Let go of Alt, paint in some highlights, and hold Ctrl D once to deselect. Now let's group everything together by selecting the top layer, hold Shift, select the layers below, and then select the group icon. I like to see this tree a little darker, so I'll add a curves adjustment layer. We can link it to the group and then adjust dark tones ever so slightly. I'll group these two for the final time and then select the layer mask icon. We do this to blend everything together in our image. Make sure you have a soft brush set to black with an opacity of 10%, so that with the white box of your layer selected, you can blend the root and also establish diffusion with the sky and branches. To add texture, you can merge the group layer together by holding Ctrl E once, and then go to Filter, Noise, Add Noise, and set it to about 4%. Perfect. Now the layers look like part of the image. And this was Design Dummy.